what are we doing here? Can be explained, described in many ways. Very basic Buddhist terms, Pali and Sanskrit or Chinese and Japanese. But let's really make it simple, down to the basics, the fundamentals. I'm from Philadelphia, and in Philly English, I am fundamentalist. You know what the Greek origin of that word is, right? In Philadelphia, it means having fun with the mental stuff. Huh? Yeah, just kidding. What are the fundamentals? Very simply, we can say to stop and to see. If you can really see through this and stop here, your work is done. Once again, the very basis of all Buddhist and Zen Buddhist practice is in two words: stop, see. Now, there are complicated words like samatha, which is often mistranslated as calming, kind of a slowing down the pace. This is wrong. It means to stop. And there are words like vipassana. Everybody is familiar with insight, but the real meaning is to see, really, to see through, to see things as they really are, to see through. Again, to stop and to see. In Buddhism, generally, the stopping comes first. There are certain practices to help the mind to slow down and reach a state of rest, calm. Then there are exercises to help us see what is the nature of this. Is this permanent? Is it impermanent? Is it satisfactory? Is it unsatisfactory? Is it something I can call myself? In Zen, it's much simpler. You might say in Zen, they see that it's really just two sides of the same coin. And so one famous Chinese Zen teacher, Dahui, or Dai in Japanese, he's one of the guys who developed what we think of as koan Zen, introspecting, seeing into, seeing through the koan. He says at one point, everyone talks about stopping and then seeing. I say, see and you'll stop, which is also true. If you really see what this is, the mind will stop. But there are also practices to stop so that you can see. Just two sides of the same coin. Again, Zen is a bit simplistic or fundamental, as we say. But how do you actually do that? So much of what we think of as Buddhist practice nowadays is really slowing down, you might say, becoming calmer, less stressful, slowing the pace down, which is very good, very healthy. But it's not yet Buddhism. Once again, Buddhism is not about simply slowing down, but about actually once stopping, coming to a full and complete stop, halt. On the surface, we say, well, the activities of the mind. But you see, in Buddhism, in reality, stop the activities of the mind means to stop everything. Because what is there outside of the mind? What we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we touch with sensation, and of course, what we call the mind itself. All of this, in a general way, is considered what we call mind, or body and mind as one. What is it for that to really come to rest, fully come to a halt, so that, again, we can truly see what this is? The Japanese character, it's 4 strokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, very simple word. This is the Japanese word for stop. So a stop sign, you sometimes, I even see the English, stop sign. In Japan, it's this very simple Chinese character, which means to stop. Can you imagine being stopped by a policeman, a traffic cop, because you slowed down, but you didn't stop at the stop sign, right? And then you say, "Oh, but I slowed down, officer." That won't work. You've got to stop. You've got to stop. If you slow down in the wrong way, it can actually end up speeding up again. You get excited about how you slowed down. It's endless. You'll never get to the end that way. Thus, the way we put our body in Zen meditation, to naturally let it come, all of the activities of the mind coming to rest. That's why you don't have to sit in full lotus, but it works. It's a very good way. Using the legs in a way that helps us to come to rest. I'm not going anywhere. I know it looks like a pretzel maybe, but when you get used to it, it's actually a very comfortable posture. It opens up the hips. The back is naturally erect. You can breathe really well. So the way, and it has been for centuries, that has been worked on and tested. The way we hold the body, sitting in seiza will do fine. Even sitting in a chair, if you do it carefully, will just fine also. You can stand on your head if you want, but the point is to do what we are doing with the body to help us naturally come fully to rest. The way we hold our hands formally like this. The way we don't close our eyes. You don't close your eyes in Zazen. In many forms of Buddhist meditation, you do. It's fine. Not in Zazen for a very good reason. You'll see if you do it. The problem is it doesn't feel natural at first. You're used to opening the eyes, you look around, close eyes, go to sleep or whatever. But half open. So you just naturally look down a few feet in front of you. It's very valuable. But you often people need to get used to it. I did too. It didn't seem natural. Open the eyes, look around, got it. Close the eyes, got it. Half open. Try it for a while and you will see. If you see people praying in church, they're doing the same thing. The eyes are disengaged. We're not looking at anything. We're not looking for anything. But if we close the eyes, what will happen? You'll tend to go off into a dream or fall asleep. We're not trying to go inside. You don't need to go inside any more than you need to go outside. You need to see who makes that distinction between inside and outside. So we don't look around because this would lead to more things. Oh, he's sitting really well. I think she's falling asleep. But if you close your eyes, you have the same problem. You then go into a mental world, internal world, or fall asleep. So again, try it and see. It can take some time, but eyes half closed. Close them once and then open them enough so that you can see a few feet in front of you. Again, you're not looking at anything. You're not looking for anything. You'll start seeing patterns on the floor. Just let the eyes fall where they will. A little different with the ears. You don't have to direct them like you do the eyes, you see? So just let the eyes naturally fall where they will. They'll do that when you're sitting. We're not closing off our ears because that's not the problem. If the fire alarm goes off, we hear it. Closing off the senses will not necessarily bring the mind to rest. This was very clear in 1960s, where they made these kind of special incubation. Probably some of you psychotherapists certainly know. And what you would do is you would get into these machines. And I actually did it once with you, Mika. No, was it with you? No, was it? Somebody took me in Europe to one. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It was in Montreal with Louis. Well, they have those. Anyway, and what you do is you get in and it's body temperature water. So you feel very, very relaxed, not cold, not hot, temperature, body temperature. And you can close your eyes and it's quiet, or you can play, music that you like, calming music. And the idea is by lying there and, in a sense, putting to rest all of the senses, you will enter a kind of a state of, these were enlightenment chambers, they thought, in the 1960s. Huh? If you didn't want to do the LSD stuff, you could try this. Oh, many people had very restful, very profound experiences. Some people freaked out. Obviously, stuff started coming up by putting these senses to rest. It doesn't necessarily put your mind to rest. So some people, stuff started to come up and it was very troubling. They had to get out of it. So this is not the way to do it. The way to do it is to find out for your body what is the best posture. Seiza bench, sitting. If you can, I would say full lotus is the way to go. This is the best way physically with the body that we have. If you can't do it, no problem. Figure out what works for your body. The eyes, I've already mentioned. Huh? The hands, again, informally, you can just put the thumb inside like this, or you can go like this. Okay. The breath, and there will be a chance to go through some breathing exercises with Cyrus. Huh? The breath is naturally becomes deeper, slower, and longer if you're breathing properly. Huh? We usually breathe very, very shallow. So in the beginning, yes, pay attention. Take a couple of deep breaths. Don't force it, just with the breath that you have, like exhaust yourself. Let go of everything with that out breath. And when you're finished, your body knows what to do. You will breathe in again. It's a very good way of helping to let the body and the mind come to rest. Of course, the most difficult part is not the body. It can be very painful until you get used to it. It's not the breath. It's, of course, what you do with your mind. You can sit in perfect full lotus and breathe really well, and still the mind train can be going 100 miles an hour. You can be sitting there thinking very proudly, arrogantly, how well I'm doing. That's not enough. The mind also naturally comes to rest by putting the body in the right posture, by breathing properly. It takes some time, but you'll see all of those dispersed, wandering thoughts and emotions and so on. You don't have to shoot them down. That's just more thought. They just naturally dissolve over time. It takes time, but we have almost a week. You can definitely do it in a few days. So a week gives you enough time to do it, make sure you did it, test it again. So use the time well. Find out how to let your body be at rest. Then using the breath, help to let your mind come to rest. Don't fight with your thoughts or your feelings. If you try to suppress them, it doesn't work. You're just rousing more. You're trying to fight thought with thought. No, just let everything go with each out breath. In a sense, this is all at a koan, a very specific Zen device, so to speak. That's all that it really is. It's a way of helping the mind to lock on and not wander off. But the breath itself will do. The breath itself will do. But usually, modern people, contemporary people, their minds are so active that even if they have the body and the breath right, there's still a lot of mental stuff, memories, hopes, expectations, desires, and so on. So having a focus can be helpful. The breath will do, but a koan can be helpful as well. It can also become mental masturbation, of course. But if you take it directly and immediately, as the body and the mind that is here, it can work very well. Find out. We have almost a week. Test it. What I'm saying is of no value, of no worth, if you don't put it to the test. You have to confirm it. Make it clear for yourself. What is it for this body here and now to really be at rest? How do you breathe when you're really coming to rest? What remains? What remains when the body is at rest, the breath is really calmed, and the mind itself? What remains? What remains? Everything? Nothing? Life, death? What remains? This is what becomes clear by giving all of ourselves to the practice. Gautama Buddha in the Pali Suttas, the sutras. It's interesting because often someone talks to him, perhaps asks him a question while they're out walking, perhaps going on their begging rounds, or they point out a beautiful scene or something. And it's interesting because in the suttas, it often says, they call Gautama Buddha one way, the world-honored one. The world-honored one stopped and then answered, or he stopped and then he looked at the view. Already, this is a valuable lesson, isn't it, for us in the 21st century, where we continue walking while somebody asks us a question. Meanwhile, we're also checking our cell phone, and heaven knows what we're thinking. We think we're getting 3 things done at once, but maybe we're not really doing anything, are we? So it's interesting. It says he stopped when someone asked him a question. He didn't just keep walking, he stopped. Consider well. Of course, I'm not just talking about he wasn't walking anymore. I mean, he stopped. Have you? If not, that's why the practice can be frustrating, can be difficult, and can be painful. Once the mind comes to a full and complete stop, those hindrances, those obstacles, they're no longer hindrances or obstacles. Pain, I won't say I don't have pain anymore, but it's not a problem. You have seen through, that means realized. I don't just mean with your eyes. Realized with this body, what is the nature of pain? Pain and pleasure, they're 2 sides of the same coin. What is it when pleasure arises? And what do we do with it? What is it when pain arises? And what do we do with it? When you can really sit through and let everything go, really come to rest, you never have pain. No, there's pain, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It is pain. There it is. The same thing with pleasure. You have a pleasurable experience, that's fine. But you see what the self, the clinging self, does with that. Even pleasure becomes the source of suffering. Does anyone not know what I'm talking about? Huh? The moment you grasp onto that pleasure, I want to keep it. Don't ring the bell. Oh, he's going to ring the bell. Shit, I'm going to end. The pleasure itself becomes its own source of suffering. So the point is not to get rid of pain, because you can't do that. You don't need to do that. But to let go of the one that is endlessly making this distinction, ripping existence apart and trying to hold on to one part. It doesn't work. We all know that somewhere deep inside, but we still go for the pleasure and try to get rid of the pain. Once, sit through to the end of yourself and see. I did that sitting in full lotus. That's why I can sit so well in full lotus. Because I realized what it is. The pain came, it was incredible. It was incredible. And I remember, it's not masochism, right? We're not here to suffer, right? But if you really sit, you have to make sure you're really settled in the sitting, the pain comes. Sometimes it's incredible. And then a minute later, it's gone. Interesting, isn't it? No? A few minutes later, maybe it comes back even worse. But if you're able to remain settled, eventually you see through what that pain sensation is. It's a sensation, and it's telling you something. You need to listen. Maybe you need to readjust your posture, but you can eventually discern, see clearly. Is this something wrong that I need to correct, or is it just the body reacting? And as I said, at that point, pain and pleasure are no longer a problem. Of course, it's not just pain and pleasure, but this is a good example, isn't it? You're going to go to the dentist tomorrow. You got to get some work on your teeth. You're already suffering about it, aren't you? Oh, shit. I wish I didn't have to. You're already creating suffering, and you're not even there yet. It's happening tomorrow. The ego self is amazing, right? You don't even have to be there, but you can already create suffering. You see, that's what Buddhism calls dukkha, the first noble truth. It's not the pain of the tooth. That's you need to feel that to know that's what it is, that sensation. That's not suffering. It's what the mind does with it. And it does it with pleasure as well as with pain. Therefore, unless you go all the way through, you're just whistling Dixie. You're wasting your time. Clear? It won't work any other way. And you have everything you need, but you need to learn how to use it well, to realize what? Some mystical ancient truth? No, what your body, breath, and mind are telling you right now, if you would listen. It's right there. It's right there. Stop running away from it, thinking you're running towards it. Thank you all for listening so intently. Let us continue on to the end together.